DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, and GGBet.
Valencia is known internationally for the Fallas, a local festival held in March, as well as the Paella Valenciano, traditional Valencian ceramics, craftsmanship, and traditional dress, and the architecture of the City of Arts and Sciences. Now, it's also known to house and host the DreamHack Open here in Valencia, and that is exactly what we are set up to do here. Going to our third match of the day, it's going to be Ego versus Heroic, and I, for one, cannot wait to kick this off. Sponge.
You been working on your Espanol at all?
Not really. I got one. I got some Spanish here for you.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go. Soy un dinosaurio. Grrr.
Okay.
So I'm a dinosaur.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah, reasonable.
We are
right?
getting quite old, so I'll give you that one. No, my mum. I was FaceTiming with my mum last night, and she told me that there's some fun fact about paella. I'm probably saying it wrong. On like Fridays or something, I don't know which day of the week. It might not be Fridays. The whole story is wrong. But at this point, there's one day of the week where the guy cooks for the woman, and he just goes to the fridge and gets the leftovers and chucks it in with some rice.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true. My mum told me it. If it's wrong, we can critique her.
Sounds like the South, to be honest. Sounds like where I'm from. A little bit of rice-a-roni.
Rice-a-roni. Is that like macaroni and cheese?
It kind of is a mixture of all of it in one big plate, kind of like
what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's talk about this group, though, because we're about to get in this match here with Heroic and Ego. And, of course, Group A is where you could find them. And, well, the winner is poised to be playing against the North, and the loser will go on to play against Giants in an elimination match tomorrow.
This could actually be game of the day, I think, Trace. The fact that Heroic, they've just made yet another roster move. I think they've made one every month of this year. So that's a pretty cool statistic to be thrown at you. But Ego in the past have impressed. Now, this is the thing that I've been saying continuously on desks when these underdog teams or these lesser-known teams come into a tournament and they perform. We go, oh, hey, look, these guys can actually shoot people in the head and have strategies and stuff. They need to make sure they continue to evolve. And that's one of the things I want to see from Ego in this tournament, if they've continued to make strides forward from when they made a mark at the last event where we went, hey, look at these guys, they're pretty good.
Look at these guys, they're on the map. Blay, it is time for us to kind of look at the vetoes because we're going to try to get into it rather quickly. But the map here in a best of one could be your make or break scenario.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Train here. I'm not going to take you through the entire process why it's going to be, but I think we might see a Train coming out here because if you look at their best maps, it's kind of like, the best map for Heroic is kind of like the worst map for Ego or something like that.
Okay.
Right? So I think we might see a Train coming out, but in the end, I agree with Chad that it's going to be a very close affair altogether, right? And for Ego, this has been a team, they had that crazy deep run in Starladder, but if you look at all the DreamHack events this year, they've just come out in the 5th, 6th place. They get to the playoffs, and it just gets stomped out, right? So, all right, Train's going to get banned, but it is going to be Overpass, all right.
So at least it's not Inferno.
At least it's not Inferno,
Yeah,
but it
that's
is
good,
still a tactically heavy map where utility is very important and could be poised to be a slow one based off how strategic Ego can be. Heroic are a bit more flary, they're a bit more contact play, they're more aggressive, and they like to just play out the fundamentals of Counter-Strike, more trade fragging, that kind of stuff. So I think, what's been kind of cool is S-Tag on the AWP. He's actually been doing a very proficient job.
Why don't we take a look at this Heroic lineup? That's going to be the first team we talk about here in sort of more in-depth. Madi, Freiberg, Asilian, Nico, and S-Tag, of course. They do have some interesting stuff within their camp as well. I don't think that we need to necessarily say, oh, give this roster time, this, that, and the other. But what do we know about this roster as is?
Look, obviously we talk about Modi as being, the veteran of this team, and then you have Freiberg next to him now. So there's two Swedes who have made their way onto this squad, and they both have a lot of history throughout 1.6, Source, and now in CSGO, obviously Freiberg playing for the legendary NIP squad for all those years. Asilian in the middle there, he's the most recent player. He's replaced Rubino. And then you've got S-Tag and Nico, who were kind of part of that newer generation within this Heroic roster. S-Tag was actually benched and thrown to one side, and now he's back, and the ups and downs when Yugi left and all this kind of stuff. Snappy obviously departing this roster as well. But they've actually looked more threatening and more, I guess, more of a unit ever since that change happened. I know the ESL Pro League in Dallas, they actually look relatively impressive.
Yes, indeed. And that is a man right there with quite a pedigree underneath his belt.
So here's the thing with Asilian, though, right? Like, even though he just got officially announced, he has stood in with him for a while.
Yeah.
They've always really looked good with him. But of course, I don't think he was calling at that point in time. Now he's going to be the in-game leader, and he did, in my opinion, a pretty good job when he was pitching for Imperial.
He's really gotten around though, hasn't he? You know, like you think about the amount of rosters that these kind of guys. He comes to mind. Tensk comes to mind. There's several guys who have. Cadian is probably another one that you put in a similar place they were thrust away from the Danish top teams for a period of time and they had to find homes elsewhere.
Pretty sure he played for Splice at one point, Asilian, right?
Yeah.
He played for Splice in North America.
With Machine Gun, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't really the best of projects and the most successful, lucrative ones.
I couldn't have told you that by looking at that on paper, Trace. That's a mystery to me how that one never worked out. But this man on your end has actually probably copped a lot of flack based on his performances, but I think he was kind of pushed into roles when Yugi and Snappy and all that kind of stuff were there within the team where he couldn't shine. You've been seeing more and more promising signs out of this guy now that he's been let off the leash a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you look at when they had Yuki, he was very, very quiet indeed, right? And now it's like they kind of seem to have figured out a system. I don't think it's that structured a system, so to speak. And with Asilian coming in, I'm sure he's going to probably try and mix and match things, try to figure out which thing really works. But yeah, it'll be cool to see what he does here.
How about this Ego side? Because, I mean, there has been a little bit of talk that, hey, you know what, this might be the best Polish team.
I think you'd have to say they are, though, based off recent results, right? Virtus Pro haven't done anything impressive at all, and they've lost what you would say is their star player in Snacks, who's now gone to Mouse Sports.
Was he really the star player, though?
Well, he wasn't for maybe 2 years. That whole team just basically completely dropped off the radar, right? Obviously, there was blips here, there, and everywhere where they were able to put up some good performances based off momentum. But what we saw from Ego at Star Ladder was actually a decent team-based performance, and Snatchy was one who consistently performed. Now, online, he wasn't necessarily anything too flashy. The fact of the matter was he kind of continued those performances throughout the tournament, which was impressive. This man on your screen right here, Mr. Gruby, he's played back in the day with Polish rosters at majors, early majors, even when I used to play, Trace. That's how old we are. You're a dinosaur. You probably get that reference. But, him and Furlan, I believe it is, are the ones that... If you look at this team, they are maybe names that stick on out. And then the guy in the middle, the guy we're about to see, his name is impossible to pronounce if you're a commentator. Yeah, but it shouldn't. It's just difficult. So I've nicknamed him Toad.
All right. Well, I thought it might have been a typo there to begin with, but
no,
it's not.
No, that's his alias.
Hell.
Yeah, but we're gonna call him Toad.
Okay.
It's kind of tragic, right?
He's done it to himself.
I mean, the Toad isn't like a bad nickname by
Not a
any
great
chance.
one.
I really like the character in X-Men.
I mean, there are some Toads, I think,
Long tongue.
in the rainforest that are very poisonous. I don't know that I'm on to anything.
Would you guys go as far as saying, in your opinions, that these guys are the favorite in this tournament? Not this tournament, this matchup.
Yeah.
Me too.
Not by far, not by much though. But I think, especially because it's a best of one, right? But it's a best of three. I think they would have the upper hand. Because
60-40?
60-40, 65-35, whatever. Because the last time these two guys faced off was in Marseille and in Starladder, and Ego actually came ahead 2-1 in both those series.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning in that direction as well. I think Snatchy is the man on your screen who's going to have to deliver. I don't think in terms of toe-to-toe in the server, I said S-Tag is a good AWP, but I don't...
Toad-to-toad?
Haha. But I don't think that he can match up to Snatchy as well.
How about Twitch chat just relaxes for 1 second?
What are they doing, man?
They stop spamming all these ridiculous emote, all this Bible thump nonsense, and let's get some actual voting going on in this chat room. It's going to be !hero for Heroic or !Ego,
If you vote for Heroic, you have to sing the song. You can be my hero, baby.
Be my hero. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
we're done with that. Never happened. I don't think Enrique Iglesias is here today, but perhaps...
he's a big Counter-Strike fan.
I don't know that he could have nailed it like we just did, Chad. That's the reality.
Well,
of the
we have an
situation.
album coming out next summer.
Is this where we announce our production company?
I don't think it's time.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, there is a production company in the works here with Chad and myself and one other party, but you know what? It's all about the mysterious stuff around here. Now, Chad, you have said that Ego could be the favorite here, and Blay, you're kind of deciding the same way?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just also want to say that in my predictions, because I'm undefeated currently in the tournament.
Must be nice.
I'm going to have to say this one's going to be going in the way of Heroic, obviously. We're going to get into more predictions later on, but just because I know when I pick, I'm right.
Oh, okay. So you're just pointing out what you really wanted to do there was have like a humble brag. It's like you guys were wrong last time and I was right, and that's where we were going with that. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Give me a prediction then, Chad.
I'm gonna go with Ego.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Heroic, and Blay, I think that leaves you teed up for 3 reasons why who you think is gonna win is gonna win.
3 reasons why Ego is going to win, but I also feel it's going to be a very tight game altogether here. And the reason's not up yet, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead anyway. Reason number 1 would be the fact that Ego have really looked good so far, especially on land recently. Then you have, there you go. So yeah, I think Ego is going to be, coming off a high. They've been looking really good, convincingly. They've beaten a lot of top teams. Right? Teams are much better than Heroic recently. On the other hand, you have Heroic, who have had some pretty good moments when they were playing with Asilian, although it is a surprise factor because he's going to be calling this time around. And thirdly, of course, is going to be the fact that Heroic have lost consistently, at least 2 best 3s in a row on LAN to Ego in the recent past. So overall, it is going to be Ego taking the series.
There's your predictions, Trace.
Yep.
Booyah.
Couldn't have asked for any 3 more reasons. But the only people that you should know about based on that is Hacks GG. What do you know about Hacks, Chad?
I have several hoodies and a couple T-shirts and some pins.
Must be nice.
Some pins.
Some pins.
Guys, it's also that part where I say, go check out the Strafe app. Grab that app up. Just get it on your freaking phone, man. Go ahead and follow along this tournament, as well as many other tournaments by installing Strafe Esports app, available in Google Play and App Store if you're an Apple user. Chad.
Which one would I go to if I had a Google Pixel?
I'd assume the Play Store.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Go ahead. Yeah. There you go. Cool. With that being said, of course, you can follow along the matches all weekend long here on the Strafe Esports app. Now, guys, perhaps it's time to look at the Twitch vote. I believe that's where we are left right about now.
All right, there's some sensible people in the world.
Reasonable, yeah.
This is what happened last time. I want to remind you guys.
Yeah, but here's the thing. A prediction is based off of the
Past
knowledge that we have. The whole point of a prediction is to grab all the information, right? All the information available to our juicy brains, and we put it together, and we look at what is the most likely scenario.
How can you not predict an upset? Like how?
Well, that's the thing. It wouldn't be an upset then, would it, viewers at home? Ha ha.
Well, they're not that upset. All the Bible thumping did stop in chat. But our commentators for, I believe, their final game of the day are ready to go ahead and kick this bad boy off. It's going to be Hugo and his son, Scrawny.
I'm 4 years his elder son.
Oh,
I'll take it.
It's weird around here. What can I say?
That's true. It's true. I mean, you notice Blez complaining he doesn't get Hacks gear, but he is rocking that snazzy DreamHack shirt. So I say to you, Blez, it must be nice.
It is nice indeed.
Thank you very much, gents. We're going to get into this next one, AGO and Heroic. And as Sponge said, I do think this could be one of the bangers of this first day. I think that it is very even keel between these matchups, but I'm going to go ahead and lend myself to the AGO camp because if ever we've seen them falter here at the DreamHack Open events, it is always in decider BO3s or, of course, the actual playoffs. When it comes to group stage, they have soared through them before, and I think that they may do that here in their first one.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick Heroic coming into this game, but I was sitting under the idea that if this went either Train or Overpass, I can't lean the way of Heroic. Yes, they've looked good at least on Train, but Overpass has been such a middle ground map for them that it's very hard to bank on this team here. And again, considering the roster changes, this is somewhat of a problem. AGO, a team that have been very proud of themselves for keeping this same 5 roster for so long now. One of the longest standing rosters, if not the longest standing roster in CS right now at this kind of level. So yeah, it's really nice to see AGO actually continue with this, and as Chad said on the desk, every month of this year, Heroic have made a roster change. Some better than others, but now at least they have they have what I hope to be a long-standing roster for at least the next few months. A new IGL, someone who's moved over from Imperial, that being Incilian, and I'm excited to see what he can bring to the team in terms of depth and whether Heroic can actually, come into this event with fighting form, considering it is what some would say is their honeymoon period.
I do like that we get into the middle ground of this map pool as well, right?
Yeah.
These teams didn't veto to their strengths just because, of course, as Blair was alluding to, there's not really too much of a comfort zone. So Overpass is the 4th most played map for AGO, and it's the 5th most played here for Heroic. And I think delving into the depths of your map pool may just make things that much harder, right? We talked about, of course, how this is a utility-heavy map, how you're going to need a nice set piece, and, of course, teamwork to get your way through it. And if there's anything that we have to give to AGO, it's that this tenured roster has been together for so long that you'd think that they'd be able to work out the intricacies of a map like this. So.
And having so many things to fall back on as well, right? Maybe you change a player if you're Heroic and it's not too bad, but you change your IGL, that's completely switching up your entire setup, right? Everything you do is going to be reevaluated and it's not like they've had the time to play together. Of course, as Blair said, Asilian has been playing for this team for a few weeks in terms of, it was only recently announced, but he has actually at least been playing online matches with them. But at the end of the day, how much prep can you really do? How much work can you really do in such a limited space of time, especially when you're busy playing all these online matches? So that's a question. That's not even a statement here. We don't know how prepared Heroic are going to be coming into this game, although I hope that they show some fighting form, because they definitely do have some good individual players. And one thing that was kind of touched on the desk was S-Tag's AWPing, and I think that's something as well that I'm really excited to see. Before Optic made this current Danish roster, when Yugi was still on this team, Yugi actually dropped out for a few weeks, and due to personal reasons, not sure why, and we saw S-Tag, who was on the bench, actually come back into this roster. Yeah. He was given an extremely loose style. He wasn't contained, and that man, while he played the ECS Challenger Cup, he performed ridiculously. He was dropping 30 kills every single game. I'm hoping to see more of that from S-Tag, filling in the roles of obviously the previous AWPer that is so hard to replace.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that when we look at op-to-op face-ups here, we might actually have a banger of a match right then and there, right? Snatchy, in my mind, is an incredible AWP player, and I think he's been one of the heaviest hitters for AGO. So, my eyes on that one, Hugo. I think especially as we move into Overpass, there's definitely openings for aggressive ops. If you want to go for those peaks and look to pluck players early, you can definitely do that on Overpass. It facilitates those kinds of strategies, right? We're talking CT side picks over towards Party. You can throw players down inside of Connector. Then you can even go for the more passive setups on Long. So this can be a difficult map for Ops, but I'd also say an Opera's Paradise if it fits your style. And, well, for the pistol round, we're going to have a long A push from Ago. That is 3 men up and over, and there's already a Party ready to receive. 4 Ts all stacked up. The bodies starting to pile now as Tao gets himself a headshot onto Freiburg, but so much damage both ways. And Snatchy's already back down towards bathrooms, but Modi blasts his face off, and now Modi's going to have 2 of these CTs pinched in. He just does not need to let them retreat long enough for that to happen. Asilian and EC Tag, they combine for those next 2 kills, and it falls onto Groovy to clutch.
That was such an awkward situation. We had 3 players per side, 2 of them both low HP on either team, and great work from Modi to at least wrap back in those toilets and allow Heroic to pull back those kills. So Groovy, at least on the right bomb site here, but he's got such a task ahead of him. Surely impossible with a pistol. Smoke is down, but they're just going to charge him, and S-Tag will clean it up with 2. Heroic taking the pistol around there. Strong start, and even though AGO are looking to catch them off guard, they do not slip behind enemy lines. Heroic are going to start things off at least on their T side.
This was a crucial push from Modi. I love that he took that opening and just went with it, right? Grabbed it with both hands and then shut things down. Not only getting a crucial kill up close, but most importantly, not allowing for that retreat from the players on Long. So AGO, they wanted to push out onto upper A in order to establish some early map control, and instead, it ultimately was to their demise. They got trapped like rats and couldn't fall back. And Furlan, well, he's already exterminated Easy Tag. It's a good Deagle headshot to kick things off, and it'll find the buy of Heroic a man down. Most notably, they also did just pry into short water here from Ago, so they know that there's nothing on this side of the map just yet. It means Heroic are reserved and standing aback.
Well, Heroic looking to take control back up this A site. With the smokes down and flashes through, they push their way up short, but will it be the A commitment? That's a question mark again, because it's more common than not to see.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. More common than not to see a heavier stack towards that B bomb site. And now considering the fact that Snatchy just died on A, it's still 3 players committed towards B for AGO. So they're really gambling with this round. And Heroic, therefore, are making the right call to walk their way up Long. Because with only Furlan on the other side, yes, he's already proved his power with the Deagle. He's got so much more to do and so little to do it with. 35 seconds on the clock. And Heroic, they're going to be taking this A site. AGO, they started things off well, but surely this cannot work out for them.
Furlan could be exposed. Oh, nice shot onto Asilian. Freiburg's going to get that instant trade, however, and he works up from Long, so sure enough, they've got this bomb site in their grasp. Although, it's not the tightest of grips, seeing as it will be this rotation up through CT spawn. These smokes are fantastic in the sense that AGO can't just go barreling through them. They would do so to their deaths. They themselves have a flashbang, which they've now used to peek out wide. That's 2 bodies spotted towards Truck, and Madi can do nothing about it. In fact, Freiburg can't even get his kill either. So 3v2, gun down now to the man advantage, and they do sweep this one away. But it did get scary for a moment.
Yeah, saved by Freiburg there with 3 kills. Adam obviously putting up the damage in that second round. So AGO, they started things off strong. Couple of picks from Furlong with a Deagle, but not able to convert the round. So nothing too crazy here. Still waiting for that rifle round to come through for the CT team. But for now, Connor, again, gritty teeth, because we've got pistols. Heroic again running 4 rifles into this third round, looking to keep this strong. And instead of heavy investing in SMGs here and then having to run a bonus round, they just assume the fact that they're not going to lose too many players here and hope to keep on to these rifles. S-Tag is the expendable one with the SMG as he looks to build up money for the AWP that Snatchy will certainly be pulling into this first buy round. He's been saving for it. And Nico's opened up, so Heroic one by one starting to take out the pieces of AGO who are stacked up on this A-bomb site.
Trying to predict more positions, clearing all the angles they can. You do not want to eat losses in a round like this. Remember, it is only Furlan with an upgraded gun, and down he goes. No Wandig this time around. Although there is still danger looming near these smokes. 3 CTs stacked up, just hoping for some kind of a target, but nobody's coming their way. In fact, bombs wrapped all the way back through T-spawn. It's going to head into the B-bomb site, and these players in Connector will just exit towards that side of the map. So it should be easy pickings here for Heroic.
That's 2 rounds in a row that Heroic have avoided the stack of AGO, so really nice calls and reads so far coming out from this T side. Again, they might not have known that, but they've made all the right decisions. And AGO have realized the error of their ways, having to rotate down through the connector where Asilian is posted on, waiting for that peek back through. He spots one, but Heroic almost guaranteed this round at this point. It's just a case of actually finding the kills to finish it off and send us forward to that buy. Asilian catching 2 on the exit, leaving just PHR.
With the panorama map, obviously they changed it so that the different colors indicate elevation, right?
Yeah.
I think now it's nice to see Overpass visualized in the sense that half of this map is so much lower than the rest. And obviously that has so many uses on a map like Nuke. It's just a nice change, Hugo.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a change, an actual change in CSGO.
Crazy. Valve's been doing work though. Valve have been releasing updates left and right, so I'm all for it as long as it continues. 3-0 now for Heroic, and they look for this to continue in terms of getting another round on this board, a streak. AGO have that AWP and a full rifle buy, but Heroic are looking to take initial control of that B short. With the bomb outside Monster, it could just be Modi setting up the utility, but Snatchy won't give him the opportunity. Peeking out with the AWP, and now the push has to come through, but the trades are strong for the CT side. Snatchy with a double, eventually dropped, but they haven't spotted Towel here, and they won't expect him because they've already dropped 3 players, and Towel's found the bomb in the open. 1 man left up in the form of Vasilian, but his Molotov does nothing. He's left to clutch it, but there's one, not the second.
Nice shot, though. That was like 5-6 bullets deep into the spray down at a distance, too. And of course, he knows exactly where that last man is at, but regardless, can't contain it. This was Snatchy's opping in the round. I believe he picks up 2 kills, plucking a man off both Short and Monster. So AGO will find it. Finding themselves, of course, still with that op in play. We've got the 2 umps, a FAMAS. Nice bits of utility, though. Very crucial. Very, very crucial to play counter grenades on an Overpass. Hugo. Reason being is that all these entries onto the bomb sites are very narrow as well. Plus T's can so commonly and easily blanket bomb sites in smoke. This is a bit of a blunderbuss, and I think PHR is aware as to what's going on, but he's very wary of the door burst. Oh, the spray back and forth. The door swings wide. Easy Tag tries to bail his team out, and now PHR is going to sink that nade deep, so it seemed. Groovy only getting himself 1. It was Asilian. Of course, the trade, but Groovy's gone on a bit of an expedition out towards Monster. He's ejected his way from the bomb site, and that is going to net him 3 crucial kills. He gets eyes on bomb and has picked Heroic apart.
Yeah, and Heroic set up perfectly. They were expecting the short aggression again with that boost, but caught out by the fact that they couldn't employ it correctly meant that AGO somehow got away with all these frags for free. Yes, they give the bomb back to the Danes, but it's a small consolation because they're 2 on 4 and low HP on Nico. This is not going to be an easy round. Flash is perfect. PHR blinded back, but there's a trade instantly for Groovy. 4th kill the round found so far, and it's desperation time for S-Tag, who just decides to run into B, avoids the flashbang and stops the ace, but he won't save the day. Snatchy's there as the insurance policy for AGO to pick up another round. And that's a CT side starting to make waves here as they force Heroic to eco.
Yeah, Snatchy's played a crucial part in just kind of wiggling around that pillar. This round is obviously Groovy who gets the job done. That 3rd kill was crucial. Freiberg firing at the knees. Groovy just firing at heads. Heroic not firing on much in this one, just pistols. I do like that you have those 4 smoke grenades, and if you head out towards the playground first, well, you can just smoke your way into the A bomb site stage by stage. First you start with bathrooms, and you actually get in there, but if all your players die before anything starts rolling, then, well, you'll find yourself grasping at nothing at all. Furlan even continues on here. He's going to try and backstab, and he's going to line them all up. 4 kills for him in the round. Beautiful stuff.
And this is that individual skill of AGO showing through here, while Heroic may have some tricks up their sleeve. And you've got players like Furlan and Groovy to drag you through. Always going to be pretty confident here, and that's a great start for Furlan into this map. Already, looking really good. He found those 2 deeks in the second round, 4K there, and now the score equals up as Heroic are back on guns. We have that AWP for Snatchy. Not quite the same case for Heroic. They've yet to employ it here on the T side. Again, without the same prolific AWP. Maybe just opting not to go for that for now. See if they can get a free one, if they can take down Snatchy, but that's easier said than done. He's posted on the connector where Cillian sits in wait, Nico on the other side, no pick given to him. He'll run right through. That's dangerous. Nico's going to spot it, and Snatchy has to fall right back, but he could be Pincer from the top of short.
I don't like that push. I mean, he gets back out of bathroom, so it is okay in the end, but if there was anybody from Heroic playing towards Party, he is then trapped inside of there and being pinched by 3 players. Yeah. Whereas if at least over towards the B bomb site, he had a man staring down Monster and then also had the player up close supporting in short water. So he had a much easier bailout towards the B bomb site, but regardless, he doesn't get caught. It just could have been a huge liability. Yeah. And the beauty of him actually retreating that way is now look at Heroic taking their time to clear corners. So there is a benefit to him retreating through A, and that is they're not sure if he actually fell back. Soon enough, they'll find him, as he does reside on the A bomb site. So in the end, Hugo, I think his retreat worked out. It's going to burn a lot of time off of the clock. Heroic just inching their way forward now, and by doing so, they will make contact versus Furlan. Actually, he's going to go walking through the smoke, but he doesn't clear close corner, and Nico will get the best of him for that effort. Meanwhile, the B site's also being denied. PHR upgrading guns, and this is going to leave Heroic in a 4v4. Snatchy, he's aware that there's players near, but he didn't anticipate Freiberg going up and above, and also beyond now, as he covers the plant on A.
That's a perfect fake though from Heroic. They had 2 players down towards B trying to sell that rotation. AGO, at one point, had 4 players on that lower bomb site. That's why we only saw 1 man up on A, and Heroic will overrun him with ease. PHR catching exits, but it will have little impact in the round as Heroic are going to pick up their 4th here on the T side. Nice work there to actually sell that fake and convince AGO so heavily of it, especially after all that ruckus went down in the connector, and Heroic were taking so long, as you said, to take that A site. So now we have AGO's chance to come back with a reset, because Heroic have found their 4th round after a little bit of a hiatus. Saved guns for either team, 3 alive on both sides. But again, I say saved guns, Towels on an SMG. It's not exactly what you want to be bringing forward, and so AGO, how they choose to invest, they should have the money to buy up fully round these guns, and that won't be a problem. But if they can find a further round on the CT side, they can actually reset Heroic, which would be fantastic right now.
That would be huge. That would be huge, but like you said, 3 players survive on each side, so let's take a little bit of a pause, take a breather, take a sip, cool things down. If you're Heroic, obviously you're feeling hot off of the pistol and those conversions, but you realize things have gone astray in these gun rounds. It's still bewildering to me, Hugo, that Snatchy decides to eject up connector, and the fact that he gets away with it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen again, though.
If there was a second player for Heroic up towards that A site, then I think that's when they do fall into that trap, but it seemed as though they were sitting so passively back that they had no way to stop him. He wanted to leave, and he found the door wide open. This time, it is Furlan alone towards A, and he's going to place himself in the bathrooms. Meanwhile, they will go for short control again. They're going to try to make the same play. So let's see what Snatchy does if he doesn't get a kill, which he shouldn't, because there's nobody on the other end.
And this time Heroic are all posted up towards A, so there's no way he'll be rotating up that connector and darting through short without at least clearing it. Flashes up through long, and there's no one here, as you said. Furlan solo playing that site. And now at least Tal's rotated, but he can't take a ranged battle with that SMG. Instead, it will be down to Furlan to fight in the toilets. Perfect flashbang. Now Cillian is straight in with that pick. Does lose a lot of health in the process, but it puts Heroic in a comfortable spot with a man advantage. And now this A site is ripe for the taking. AGO convinced to rotate and do pull Groovy over to join Tal. And combined with the fact that Snatchy has a quick flank enabled, this is actually an okay setup for AGO. The problem again is just the man disadvantage. And I think Nico knows. He definitely does. Spraying in through the smoke. He's going to dive on through as well. He doesn't check his corner. He actually gets blindsided, but still gets away with a kill, leaving Groovy alone on the other edge of the fire, and Cillian trading right back.
Yeah, Cillian should have been dead there. Dead to rights even, but PHR is into the bomb site, and not for very long. All of those duels pretty much, Hugo, go their way. Very sloppy and weird once we got towards that long position. I mean, I think Nico's lucky to have even gotten that first kill. Cillian was lucky to survive that spray down. I mean, fully blinded, he still landed the headshot. This was the kill from Cillian where Groovy just didn't seem to see him. Yeah. Remember, Cillian has 10 health. One shot there, and all of a sudden Groovy has an opportunity to recompose himself before that committed push comes through. So that could have gone very different very easily. Although regardless of what could have been, it was Heroic's round to take. 5-3. And to go back in with a buy. Light utility, and not even everyone on rifles.
Again, no AWP. Heroic yet to pull it up, but Snatchy's been loving it, as he does. Nico in the connector again, playing around the edge of the smoke. This time maybe he will not get as lucky as the previous. Fell on with the CZ, and we know how dangerous these guns can be up close, can quickly burst the head of Nico on this angle, and it's actually Nico to fire back. So, important kill now going the way of Heroic to start things off, and Nico just gives up the position. He doesn't need to allow for a trade. Again, on these kind of rounds, the only weapon they've spotted is that CZ from AGO. So now Heroic is starting to question, okay, how much does AGO even have? Do they have CZs? Do they have SMGs? Or have they got full rifles? And now we're about to find out that AGO are still equipped on their other players. Down towards B where Tau gets aggressive. He does catch the timing on Freiburg, trading things back into a 4-on-4. How do Heroic react? They can easily rotate back up through that A site.
Ooh, Snatchy. Unable to flick around fast enough. Cillian's going to try to barrel off of his kill in order to get a further entry, but the rotators are coming up, so he's going to have to be quick, and instead he is turned away. A go. Back in control of the situation, Madi will find himself alone. And as he creeps forward, he finds himself also playing against the clock. 15 seconds to get 3 kills or miraculously plant this bomb. He's walking in, and it's to his death as PHR will seal the deal, and AGO back on it. Now they have to make sure they don't get reset here, Hugo, because the economic game could sway into the favor of Heroic if they lose the next.
Well, yeah, it was almost a slight reset from AGO. It's just the fact that Heroic found 2 in a row actually gave them a little bit of money to play with. So it's not far away from either of these teams being forced down to pistols. We've yet to have an opportunity for either side to build up their economy, and that's why we have a tactical pause coming through here for Heroic. They know the importance of these next couple of rounds and how they're going to decide the fate of this half. So if Heroic can keep this lead rather than giving an equal scoreline back the way of AGO, that would be comfortable on this T side. After all, the harder side of 2 to play, and up against a team that's definitely had far more experience as a roster, a very tenured one on this map. Heroic are going to be noticing that this game may not be as easy as it seems, but rifles are in from both teams. Again, the limitations ensue as no AWP is up on AGO and Nico's down on a UMP, so Heroic actually may go for a faster B approach here.
I'm just going to go right in on this. Groovy, M4A1S not going to be able to handle the challenge. Tau now trying to find headshots or something, but he's fully flashed. And that's not going to make his job any easier, but it will aid Freiburg and Madi. They're going to combine for a kill apiece, and that sends us soaring into the 5v2. Bomb plant cannot be stopped because Furlan can't peek wide, and there's even a boost going on into heaven, so Madi can give chase to what is a retreating AGO. We just talked about how that reset was prime and plump for the taking. Heroic hold nothing back on the entry. They just go charging forward, straight through flames with the smoke. They got the job done.
And how many times have we seen Cillian actually open up rounds here? Not typically the guy I'd look to as an entry fragger, but he's been finding the first pick for Heroic numerous times, converting those to rounds as well. So even effective fragging. As now another round will be theirs, 6-4. The reset, the dreaded reset, Connor, that you hinted to has at least been a part of this round for AGO. They are now back down to pistols and not going to be happy about that one. $1,900, sorry, $1,400 in the bank after that. So things are definitely looking up for Heroic now to set the pace of this first half and run away with a considerable lead. And to be honest, I'm very surprised by this. If I thought this map was going anywhere, it would be the hands of AGO, but Heroic have impressed me so far, looking like some nice fakes, a couple of executes along the line, and just good fragging individually as well as trade work. So good start of this map for Heroic. Long may it continue. As AGO are down on pistols, they've really got nothing to play with.
And the single A-site player is not even that with the gun. They've put 3 pistol arrows around the rifle, down towards the B site. In fact, that M4 is sitting back behind toxic barrels. So unfortunately for Snatchy Hugo, he is going to die. His death inevitable. Push inbound, but he will take somebody with him at the very least. Frag gets the job done. Madi clears the flank pretty quickly as Tau tries to get back behind them. Furlan's M4 is close enough to deal some damage, but then just as the plant trickles through, they will retreat. It's a save call, so they want to keep that M4 moving into the 12th.
Yeah, but it's a small consolation. Heroic are really running away with this first half. Let's be real here. 7-4, plus the fact that AGO don't even have a huge amount of money. Yes, they'll be able to buy, but Tau actually overinvested in that round. Maybe a miscall, so he's going to be down and out unless he gets dropped over this M4, which I can imagine is the game plan here for the Polish. Heroic with a strong T side so far, and they keep a lot of players alive, and that's been one of the keys of this half. If you can keep the players alive after winning rounds, you're going to make a lot of money for it. And Heroic are rolling in that cash right now. So let's see how AGO can disperse this money across the team. They have just enough to go for the full buy, but I think AWP will be a bit far-fetched. And in fact, Heroic have not even needed the AWP. They've yet to been given an opportunity to pick it up for free. And if they get given that, maybe they'll take it, but with not needing to purchase it, now finally S-Tag is going to be showing us what he's made of. But AGO don't have an AWP to fight back, as we know.
Yeah, he can definitely flex on them now. Frag Grenade's going to deny any line of sight, and in fact, nobody did, of course, display themselves. EC Tag wary of somebody pushing up into short, but there's really nothing there. This is AGO going back into the exact same setup as they had in the previous round, except they have guns. That is the biggest difference. And Furlan's playing a heavier rotate. He'll actually head up towards the A site preemptively. Now here's one of the problems for AGO is that at the beginning of the CT side, we saw so much forward position on this A bomb site, and that is a crucial piece to playing CT side on Overpass. You need to have some kind of a forefront, some front line of defense, because if not, you're giving away connector control, you're giving away the ability to rotate, and you don't necessarily need to have that control at the beginning of the round. If you anticipate Heroic playing a faster A setup, then you can sit back. But I like that now as we hit this 45-second mark, we do see Snatchy getting himself up into what is a closer position. It gives him some inkling as to what's going on here, and it could serve, of course, as a distraction for Furlan, who could either wide swing late or make first contact, setting up Snatchy to succeed. There are layers on this A bomb site, but even then, it is still reserved. They are not pushed forward.
Yeah, Gruby's only now starting to take control of B short, and they're about to realize the A play is coming through. Snatchy's aggressive position has found one, but he's going to get traded swiftly. That smoke cutting his teammate off from spotting Freiburg. In the meantime, though, the bomb's coming down towards B, and that's where the entries are not being found from Heroic, because AGO have shut them both down, leaving just one man here, and he is gone as well. AGO with a clean defense of that B site. It seemed like a panicked last-minute attempt from Heroic to rally the bomb back down towards that lower site. And with the fact of the matter with Gruby pushed up in B short as well, it was so much more information that Heroic just didn't have. So, yeah, it was down until the 30-second mark before we even saw anyone from the AGO side.
I mean, you can see how confident Heroic were in the fact that there was nobody pushed up on that A-bomb site. They just walked right past Snatchy with a grenade in hand. So if Snatchy didn't realize what was up, if he didn't see those two bodies, if AGO was a little quick on the trigger when it came to rotating, players up, then they could have fallen for the fake. But they committed, they held strong, and then they prevailed.
It's great to see AGO winning rounds that is so important, though. Like, if they lose that round, this half is going to go so badly for them. But now they still have another opportunity. The thing is, do they grasp it? Snatchy doesn't. Takes a leg, but he's going to go down straight away. And the AWP picked up as Heroic just completely bombard this site. Utility everywhere, frags across the board, and a round taken.
That's the thing. I mean, Cillian's the first casualty in this round, and he's meant to be the supporter of Snatchy. That one op position that, of course, they wanted to use and then fall back from. But because Cillian dies, and because Heroic just go parading forward, Snatchy realizes he has no ability to get back into the bomb site. Yeah. He could have retreated through bathrooms, but it was that sprint from the bathrooms to the A bomb site where he would have been caught, no matter what. And so he tries to hold the line, Hugo, and what's he get? A leg shot. Damn jumpers.
Hate to see it.
It's a bit of a robbery, and now they are robbing AGO of any guns saved here towards the end. Groovy tries to keep his cold, clammy hands on that one, but he's blasted into tomorrow, and Heroic move forward with another round. This is one hell of a T-side. That, Hugo, is now 2 opportunities that AGO have had to kind of break the spree of rounds from Heroic, but ever since, of course, those first 3 in a row, every round they've won has been reset.
Yeah, Heroic winning all the rounds they should. I said, at least AGO aren't letting them run away with this, but thanks to that round, they are now. It's 8-5. It looked like a possible 8-7.5 to AGO if they could put the pieces together, but they've now just been torn limb from limb. 2 left, and both in favor of Heroic, considering the money up for this Polish team. Pistols, SMG, rifle, limitations here for AGO, and Heroic are going to be taking them away. Molotov's in the connector is going to completely screw Towers. He's got to go aggressive, but he does get a kill and a lot of damage for that. That's a ridiculous start, considering the fact that he goes down straight away. It's actually not too bad of a trade. So Heroic, they get rid of the gun, they move it back into the safety of the T-spawn, and AGO actually aggress off the back of that. Look at Snatchy.
Oh, this could be huge. I mean, that was so worth it from Tao. Snatchy's going to hear all these footsteps fumbling around, and then he catches the player that was already tagged. So at least he's sealed the deal, but there's a man back behind him, and he has to be cautious of it. Modi could have him with the spinal tap. Yes, sir. He even upgraded into the AWP. That could have been huge for Snatchy, but now PHR will try his hand, Hugo. As his 2 teammates work their way up long, PHR will still stay closer towards the bomb, but it's not going well. EC Tag will be caught off guard while he reloads, and almost Freiburg cancels that out. PHR now on the flank, but he's missed his shot. That was his chance. He knows that both players are heading out towards mid. They know the flank is on, so Heroic make this fantastic call to now head down towards B. And they can do this quick enough. If they get here now, they will find it with, of course, no one on the bomb site. But PHR still behind, and Groovy is up above.
Oh, the bomb plant's just covered. Groovy won't be able to stop it, but Modi can't move out of position. He spotted the player, and Groovy's found the kill as well. It's just Freiburg. He's got to pull out some real heroics here in this round as he's stuck in the 1v2. The smoke is down on short, but he has a Molotov for the bomb. Combined with the fact that there's no kit here for AGO, he can severely delay this. Spraying through, gives away his position, but it forces both players off, and the Molotov, that will keep this round as his. Surely there's no way AGO can get back on that bomb as the fire spreads as well. They've got to jump. PHR takes a try, but Freiburg holding passive. 5 seconds on the defuse. Freiburg's dropped his teammate. He has to take this peek, and it's over. Freiburg's done it. PHR already had his hand on his head because he knew that he had to stick the bomb, and Freiburg will finish it off. 1v2 found, and Heroic is still in the lead.
Great clutch by Freiburg. There was a chance, of course, with that smoke in his face that he would have been sprayed back. That's the kill right there that allows him to go to the peak. And you can see he even hesitates for a second, right? Anticipating a potential wide swing. Happy with his endeavors. A decade of experience gets that 1v2. But double digits is what Heroic will want. This would be a fantastic T-side to Overpass. I mean, they have just bullied AGO economically. The poor Poles haven't had guns in many 2 rounds. Modi's gonna rob Furlan of a chance, and then he He even assists to the kill of Groovy. Freiberg on the forefront runs in, and PHR is going to somehow pick up a double. Easy Tag's on the other side of this, but PHR now has his hands on a gun. He's got rotators coming down from above, but they too have been dealt with, so Tao has to come in big. And he does get himself the short kill, but importantly, he does so without taking damage. Now PHR's been found and he's been snubbed out. It falls onto Tao and he's got the first, not the second. 1 health the difference, 1 kill the difference. As a 5-point lead's established, and that T side comes to a close.
And hey, you look at this team of Heroic and you go, okay, who's the fraggers? Nico, S-Tag, maybe Freiberg. Not a Cillian, but he is top of the board right now. 15 kills on the half. The IGL for Heroic stepping up with so many entry kills. And not even entries where he's going down straight after and being traded. He's continuing and finding multi-frag rounds as he did just there. Heroic are looking fantastic right now, and what a resurgence this team has gone through as well. If we look back to their, roster changes, just been so up and down recently, and now they've finally at least cemented themselves with the possibility of an upset win in the first game, or at least their first game.
What is Nico showing off?
I'd love to know. Yeah. He's got some real tunes on his headset.
He's probably listening to Adele.
Oh, bit of rolling in the deep.
Could be. And they're definitely rolling in rounds.
And money.
10-5. End of the first side, and of course that comes off of the T-half from Heroic. Now, this is one of those things, right? We've had these up and down performances from Heroic in terms of qualifiers. They fell in ESL 1 New York. They managed to win the qualifier versus Space Soldiers to get themselves to DreamHack Masters Stockholm. Now that's an event upcoming that they obviously, they're just right next to, but this is a good chance for them to just kind of establish themselves with a little bit more LAN experience, because that's what they have so much of, LAN experience. It's no surprise to see them perform. But we'll see what happens in the second pistol, because now they are fighting off the back foot. A 3v5 set to unfold. Cillian on damage control cannot get the second kill. So a second man advantage reestablished for AGO. And off of that, they will group up towards Monsters. This is a push onto Nico that he just cannot handle. Freiberg clutched a 1v2, and now he'll try 1v4.
Yeah, a little bit too much to ask for if you ask me, but let's see what he can find. There's one. Tao getting aggressive, but AGO have no need to peek. 2 for Freiberg, and he started things off. He's even spotted another player, tries to force a third kill, but Snatchy does get the better of him. So very, very worrying for a second there, but AGO will take that pistol round. And this gives them the opportunity to fight back into the matchup. A game that has so far not been working out for them by any means of the word, so that pistol round was extremely important. Without that, it's probably game over.
Heroic set to take one on the chin. They will come in with a double smoke. I love these rounds, Hugo, because you can get so creative. You have so little that you can't just go through the entire playbook. You've got to pull out something special. So we'll see what their preferences are. Comes with a little boost here for Cillian. He's got a narrow angle to work with, but this is definitely an angle that could catch players off guard.
Yeah, I like these rounds because you play so freely and making such risky, ballsy decisions that sometimes pay off, because okay, if we lose this round, it doesn't actually matter. I may as well do this crazy thing that might work. And occasionally, they do. So let's see if Heroic have any surprises here. The slight boost on B won't be challenged for now. The bomb's outside the A site. Nico, he's good with the Eagle, but what can he show us? Nothing for now. He's forced off the angle. S-Tag, same story. And AGO grouped up towards this A site and looking to barrel onwards. Heroic have used one of their 2 bits of utility and are actually beginning to get aggressive down on B. So this gets them a lot of information, allows for the AAA stack.
Most certainly. Also take note, of course, EasyTag spends nothing in this round. So while we didn't necessarily see him prioritizing an AWP in the first half, they want it early on here for the CT side. And I think that makes absolute sense. Not as mandatory for the offense. After trying to feel out across all of the map, they will head towards B. Maudy's not going to be alive. He has a sliver of health as he goes on to the retreat. Freiberg going to extend into Monster, just wants to peek and wants to make the call for the rotation to come down. But in the meantime, there is still that one A player for a go, so they have to worry about the flank as they also try to lock things down with such lackluster guns. Oh my. Oh my! A Cillian and Maudie both with kills on the bomb site. This is down to the 4v2. Snatchy's on damage control, but it's going to fall onto Tao alone. There is no kit, but the defuse still coming through. 3 health the difference. His teammates are dying, but Tao's dead too. Heroic got off bomb, but that's okay, Hugo. Take a breath. There's time.
What on earth was that? Modi gets a kill on 3 HP, diving up from bottom, and even kills a player with an SMG who should never be losing that gunfight. I have no idea what I just saw.
It's just a swarm of pistoleros. You have EC Tag in the heaven with a USP, Modi hiding in the short water, playing off of a CZ. We see him push up ramp towards Toxic, and then that third player, Asilian, just leaps his way onto the wood stack and fires down into smoke. So 3 crucial kills individually coming in from Heroic in a round they should have never won.
It's the metaphorical snowball rolling down the hill, building up pace and speed and size. That's what it is. Every kill that comes through for Heroic is not only another gun picked up, but another enemy dropped. And AGO can't prioritize every target with so many CTs there. Fantastic work, but ridiculously, out of nowhere. It looked like that was AGO's round from the get-go, but now they are down on pistols. And now Heroic have a chance to close out this game before AGO even get footing.
So this game started 3-0 for Heroic, 3-3 tied from AGO. And every time AGO have won a round since those first 6, it has been immediately reset.
Yeah.
Twice, of course, in that first CT side, and now right off of the pistol. I mean, that is just dire here for a go. But luckily for them, they still have enough cash to invest into the utility, and they will use that utility heavily on their entry towards this A bomb site. Smoke finally extinguishes the flames, gives a little bit of cover towards Optimus Prime, but they're going to have to transform this into a hold, but it doesn't look good. This is 3 quick kills again off pistols, going the way this time of AGO, and they have themselves the plant, and with enough smoke still to block things off in the after plant. This is their round. They've done it straight back.
AGO saying whatever you can do, we can do better. And that will be their 7th taken, actually keeping Heroic on their toes. Now the question is, how do Heroic choose to go forward? With only 2 players kept alive, it may not be enough of a convincing situation to force buy around these rifles. They may actually just go for a plain eco on the other 3, which would, in my opinion, be the best call to make. But we'll see. Modi may not even survive after all, but he does drop Tau on the exit, getting aggressive down towards that B site, and now Heroic grouping up and guaranteeing the save of these weapons. Don't want to take any more risks. AGO themselves, they're the ones who upgrade, not only winning the round, but taking 2 guns away from Heroic and keeping them on to the next. So they're going to be pretty happy with that one. It's now pulled AGO back from what could have been pretty much the game over, right? Heroic could have just run away with that after winning the second force buy. So AGO now keeping things close and looking to come back in with some heat. But Heroic have force bought around these 2 rifles, and in fact, they've not got a lot around them. 2 scouts and an SMG. This is a bit of a dangerous one, Connor.
Couple of scoots, a couple of smoke grenades as well. Only 3 actually. Double flashbang too. So utility is light. Belts are empty. Unfortunately for Heroic, they don't really have the buy to go on much of an expedition. It's not as though they can offer themselves up. Do not want early casualties in a round like this because you know it is a crucial turning point. Deep position from Freiberg's going to be good for 1, nearly 3. That is substantial damage, and now Modi's going to get a chance at a headshot angle, which has already proven fruitful. He's got himself Snatchy, grasped the opportunity with both hands, and now Asilian's here to support. Smokes are down, 50 seconds to the clock. They could fall off Hugo because they didn't find that swift entry, and the rotates have arrived.
And Heroic aren't even getting too aggressive. They're not even trying to force kills. As I say that, Asilian, he does do exactly that. But the passive play from Heroic was fine. It was leaving AGO as the ones who had to force frags, and they were unsuccessful in doing so. Now darting back towards A, or at least trying to. But Heroic 1 step ahead. They crawl up through the stairs, and the CT spawn means that now they're going to have a AAA setup, or at least a double, because Nico remains on that lower bomb site, but that's not really a problem. Again, 2 players here, 20 seconds on the clock, AGO splitting up, meaning trading is going to be extremely difficult, and they've just got to hope for a hero play, but Tao's tagged by the scout. S-Tag cleans up the frag and looks for the last one. It is easy for S-Tag.
Easy tag. My goodness. What's up with that long push, Hugo?
I'm not sure. I don't know why you would split there as well, really, in that 2v4. You know that the only way you're going to win is finding trades and hoping for a clutch. Either way,
yeah,
that was a lost round to begin with from AGO. The failed B attempt has now left them down in the dumps with an AK and 4 pistols.
And the pattern's continued, right? Every round a Go has won has been reset for the last half or so. 20th round's inbound. single AK for Groovy. Utility's already out. Freiberg's in a prime position to just mow them all down. But he's only got 3. Still good enough. Snatchy's gonna desperately try to get himself back into the bomb site, and he only gets himself a single kill. Ascillion's here, and so is the remainder of Heroic. They pull it out of the hat, and they shut things down. Quick rotate, quick round.
Freiberg's so cheeky, man. He's loving it. Back in form. It's been a while since we've seen this man playing at the top level. Hopefully this team can do exactly that. But Chad's prediction of the event winners, AGO, are currently struggling in their opening game, so maybe that 15-point bet wasn't the safest of calls. We'll see, though. For now, it is default pistols with a couple of investments from AGO. No utility and really no chance. The nades already dropped Furlan, so as if it wasn't difficult enough. In fact, Nico gets overwhelmed, but how much can AGO really make of this?
Try to push up off of it, and since the guns are out, the bodies are down. PHR and Groovy just hold on to a shred of health, and, well, PHR has no teammates to help. He too will be dead right now. 14-7, Heroic making this one look easy as they start to reestablish themselves. Money's looking hot. Rounds are starting to stack up, Hugo. 14-7, I believe. Yes.
This has gone from a back and forth close game to an absolute stomp in seconds.
Yeah.
A couple of resets from Heroic, as you say, and that's just put the economy of AGO in such a bad place for the second half. Look at that. 2 T-side rounds, straight up forced back from Heroic, giving no room for AGO to not only build up an economy, but get some confidence. If they can find a couple of rifle rounds in a row, put Heroic on pistols, have a bit of a death match there, maybe, just maybe, AGO find their form. But right now, they are not being given any breathing room. 14-7, 2 more left needed for this Danish-Swedish mix. Maybe they're going to find the victory after.
You know, it's Mohan Launders Govindasamy who actually allocated, the development of Overpass T-sides to Heroic. Back when they had Snappy, he said that they were the team that kind of set the precedent, and oh my goodness. That is 3 easy kills for Nico off of a flashbang. This is a team that, while they no longer have Snappy, still have such a tenured roster on this map. They have played it time and time again, despite their constant monthly roster changes. No matter the iteration, Overpass has been their playground, and right now we see why. A couple of deaths taken back, but Modi sweeps them down. All 5 dead T's in a pile on long.
Dear, oh dear, what has happened here to AGO? Some fantastic work from Heroic, but it's mainly just been these suffocating rounds, right? This aggression and these constant repeats. So we look to not only that round from Nico, flashed into a very aggressive position, but also, look down on that B site where Ascillion has just been taking control. Heroic are not letting AGO set up for any of their executes that they are known for, and now with, once again, another similar buy to what we've seen before from this Polish roster, a rifle on one and pistols, or an SMG at least, on the rest. What can they achieve with this? Probably not too much, but they've got to go for it. An 8-round comeback going to be needed here from the Polish to keep themselves in this map. Otherwise, it's Heroic to take Overpass away. Up towards the A site again, Nico is curious as usual. He's pushed to the edge of the smoke, and this is a good gap as well. He might have spotted it across, but wasn't able to take the kill. Now he knows that his backside is at least open for business, and he's going to reposition towards the site. But Snatchy catches him off guard before he gets back.
Easy Tag's going to look to just skewer this push in. If nobody checks his position, he could get himself multiple frags, but it will just be that one. Tao goes leaping into the bomb site. That's the plant established. Oh, he can't get his hands on the M4, but luckily for, of course, AGO, the kills still come in. Deep Molotov will convince this CT back. Because of this, the game continues. 7 rounds more for AGO consecutively needed in order to force OT. They can't even play for the win, Hugo, and you know that has to be disheartening.
Yeah, and the scary part is, again, it comes down to these resets, right? If Heroic finds a reset here, they win the game. So what has been a staple, a consistent part of Heroic's entire map here of resetting AGO could be what brings them to the victory after a single T-side round. And Heroic certainly have the money to go for it as well. We can even see that AWP that S-Tag was saving for so early on in this half. The money's going to be fine for Heroic, at least for this round. 7 map points.
7 match points?
Yeah.
Damn. There's a benefit to clearing your group 2-0. You would get tomorrow off in beautiful Valencia. Quick day in the office if Heroic can keep this up, but again, Ago is incredibly equipped for this situation. They still haven't had an op on this T side, but they have the utility back behind the buy regardless. And that is, of course, 5 rifles, so they are ready to go. Problem is pressure's on at this moment, right? You cannot afford to make a single mistake. Your margin of error is non-existent.
Look at the control Heroic have. I mean, they've given up the B site. They've got 3 in short water. This is pretty aggressive. This is pretty unexpected, and there's no way Joe will be ready for this setup. They may be given the B site, but they will go no further. In fact, it's actually short they want to take, and that could be the worst decision they've ever made. Modi on the angle, dead instantly, but there's 2 more. Freiburg only got a single frag, and Furlan's made it possible. He's found a double entry. He's opened up the bomb site, and he's kept AGO in this map.
Tao sees the door swing wide, so now he knows there's a man behind, and of course Nico's just tucked tail. That's a save call. That one's done. Yeah. Good kills by Furlan. It all came down to that short push. I mean, that was so crucial for Heroic to hold. They had 3 players in position, but the thing was that they all came in one after another. Modi, obviously first contact. The player back in the corner gets a single kill, but it was Asilian who peeked from short that got absolutely nothing because Furlan just blasts both brains out.
The thing about that setup is you're actually hoping they push Monster because they're going to get the B side for free, and they're not going to expect you to pincer them from short, right? They're going to be so focused on positions like Heaven and Graffiti if they don't spot people in Monster. But no, you got 3 in short, and you got a quick flank enable to go back through Monster and hunt those rotations. So yeah, that's why Modi wasn't peeking aggressively, and as a result, as you said, Asilian, he has to be watching the site because long is open. So AGO, they counter Heroic setup by just pushing the right avenue of the 2 options. So yeah, great work there. And as you said it yourself, 1 by 1 peeking for Heroic. Kind of had to happen there, but it's not going to work out for them. AGO back in this game, Connor, and putting Heroic down on pistols now means they have an opportunity to grind this back. Yeah,
double digits should certainly be found here from Ago. But EasyTag's looking for some contact. Ooh, run boost. Throws him out to the open, and he gets across unspotted. Although he still reveals himself, and he's going to take a bit of damage off of that. Although he knows Snatchy's still over here because an op fired off and did take Freiburg to 10 HP, so EasyTag's going to continue to hunt the second kill. And if he can get 2 here, then all of a sudden these CTs are going to push forward. Oh, that's sick! He throws himself using the tube of the tunnel. A little bit of momentum offsets the crosshair. That's a second kill. Now, they didn't realize that Bomb was back in spawn, but they have gotten themselves a second op and an AK. You do not want this round to be the one that seals the deal, but it is looking great here for Heroic.
1 gun was brought into this round apart from these pistols, and 3 or 4 of them were default as well, so this is ridiculous. Tao going to try and turn the tide of battle, but he's got so much to do and so many players to find. Modi not even committing to the duel, and finally the reload coming in, but Modi cleans it. It's only 2 left here for the T side. Make that one. Groovy, he's out in the open, and he's dead. Heroic have found it 16-9, and they are going to get the victory on a pistol round versus AGO. What a ridiculous opening game for them. And now expectations are probably pretty high of this roster.
Yeah, smooth moves in that last round to throw EasyTag down towards Monster. You remember 1 round previous, that's when you saw that 3-player cohort work their way in through short. And of course, the run across from EasyTag, what that does is gives him an angle watching short tunnel. He then challenges for the duel because his position was revealed, and in doing so, they pick up both those kills. They get all their guns, and slick movement from Modi there on those dice box. I mean, he dodged a kill for maybe good 10 seconds even.
I think the big thing for me is the calling, right? When we had this team at Pro League Finals with Croman standing in, before Asilian was even added, we had 3 different players calling. There was no dedicated caller on that essential mixed team, right? And that was a big problem for them, especially on CT setups. Although they got a few nice wins there, it was, again, lacking. Now that we've actually got Asilian on this team, bringing some structure, bringing some calculation, this team is looking a lot better. We saw nice fakes, we saw some good executes, we saw well-timed CT aggression. All the pieces were, going into place there for Heroic.
Bringing firepower as well. Right? That's definitely an added
layer.
layer. The fact that he can get so many kills in the first portion of that game certainly led themselves to some help. But Hugo and I are done for the day. We're going to throw on some bikinis and throw this one over to the desk so that they can unpack what you saw.
not really the mental imagery I wanted outside of the smashing that just happened there in the server.
Hashtag free the nipple.
Yeah, I think we could probably get behind that one, Chad. I'm not entirely sure I can endorse that openly here on the broadcast, but what I can endorse is that I am now 3-0 in predictions for the day with Heroic
You're really cool, Chase.
grabbing the win there. You guys okay? You guys cool?
What, do you want like a medal? I'm sure we can get something crafted for you.
No, I'm good.
There's an empty box here. I don't know.
He's got a monster right there.
Oh, you're all good. You got
And it's golden as well.
Cool.
It's
Orangey.
cool as well. Heroic do take a victory there, a W in their opening match here against Ego. And, well, what was the second opening match of Group A?
Yeah, look, I think here, Heroic, they just started very strong, forced Ego into a lot of reset scenarios, and they couldn't really establish a strong CT side. And that's where I think the unraveling happened. When we flicked on over, there was a couple of cool executes coming out from Ego, but the fact of the matter was, everybody was doing their job for Heroic. It wasn't one individual carrying. Everyone was able to contribute when they needed to, and even Freiburg with this lovely 1v2 clutch here, which he played to perfection.
Perfection with the Molotov. It rang out just perfection. And of course, that's what we would expect from Freiburg. I mean, he is a veteran within the game. It doesn't matter if he's wearing a NIP jersey, a Heroic jersey. It doesn't matter. He still is a player that you can look up to.
He's a fragger.
Fragger. Fragger. That's probably how they say it down under.
Yeah, mate.
All right, Mike, you will look at these numbers. Would you look? It's pretty evenly distributed.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was the main point there. If I had to look for like a downside of things for that of Ego, it's just very frustrating, I suppose, to constantly get reset on that CT side. That's one of those things. You can never establish an economy. It means you're always playing from behind with weaponry. And even when you win a round, you're going into a tentative scenario because it seems to happen time and time again within a half. So
And also, like, if you look at the way Ego played the CT side, right? I think the biggest mistake they made was they gave so much room for Heroic to just swing around, right? They really didn't go for any map control. They're playing too scared from the sides. And even when they tried to aggress, it was a little too late, and it was kind of like half-arsed, discombobulated. They didn't really have the timing down the crossfire setup. So, and especially when you have, I think it was what, an 8-7 lead going to the second half. That's a lot to work with, especially for Heroic.
I think it was 10-5.
10-5, sorry, my bad.
10-5,
10-5, that's huge,
yeah,
right?
It was huge.
And then you can just go for those little bit of some stack plays, some gamble stacks and whatnot. So, yeah, Ego kind of
Got a bit of room to work with.
crapping the bed, so to speak, the CT side.
Now that is some terminology I think does need just a little bit further of an explanation. We're going to have an interview here shortly, but I do want to know exactly what that means, Blair.
Do you want him to use?
You want me to go with
What,
more
for
in
now?
detail?
I'm kidding.
More in
Okay.
detail? Yeah,
I bought
can.
enough time for us to jump into our interview. It's going to be Asilian. That is who we're going to get the chance to talk to here. You see him strapped in with the headset around. Just took one off, putting a new one back on. Congratulations, my friend. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm happy with the win.
Yeah, you guys are obviously pretty confident now after putting Ego. I just want to say my colleagues here on the desk doubted you. I never doubted you. So what questions do you guys
Someone
have?
has to win and someone has to lose. But look, I've been doing all the hard-hitting questions all day off the bat. I'm going to throw one at you. I was assuming it was going to be Mr. Freiburg doing the interview, but I'm seeing if I can tailor this question to you. What was the main reason that they replaced you with Rubino, or the other way around, replaced Rubino with you? That's what I meant to say.
I think it's a mixture of like a lot of things. I think not only I think they needed a leader on the team, but I also think that Rubinho was going through like his eye surgery and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that was like tiring on the team. And then of course I think they needed a leader, and
I've got one more hard-hitting question, Trace, before I let Blair jump in here.
Hear it.
Back at Gamescom in 2015 when we played, how often do you have nightmares about losing to my team?
I think we only lost 2 times and we won 1.
Yes, which
I'm
means
correct.
you won less. You won less than you lost.
I mean, I would say my team back then was really bad. So
Yeah, well, mine too. And look at us now, mate. We're both in better positions than we once were. So everyone's smiling.
I think Chad is still talking about the time he beat up on Titan in
Yeah,
the
that's
server.
my
It's
favorite
still-
game.
It's still one of those things we still hear about in the green room. Blade, do we have anything concentrated around this game for this man?
Yeah, okay, simple question. You have, of course, stood in for Heroic in the past, right? And now suddenly coming in, replacing Rubino. How much of a drastic shift is there in the dynamics of the team? Like, you are calling right now, but was it like a massive momentum shift, or was it just fixing a few things here and there?
I think it's a hard question. I think they just needed an overall leader who can bring the team together, because before I think they were all like kind of doing like some guy was like calling on one map, and then another one was bringing in ideas on another map, and I just think that they needed like a guy who would like tell them what to do like on all the maps, and not like
But I guess when it comes to a leader in game, what about out of game? When you guys are going to pick places to eat, who's the one that says like, yeah, we're going to eat there. That's the way it's going to be.
No, we haven't been
That's a
much
true
together,
leader.
but like for example, today I said that we were going to meet at 9:30 at breakfast. So.
Who was late?
No one.
No one was late.
No
But this
one.
is fantastic. It's a great start. That is a great start.
That's the command hand, Chad.
Yeah, the command hand.
Well, Cillian, congratulations on your opening victory. You are going to be moving on to a winners match here later on, but I'm going to let you guys go ahead and get prepared for that as we go into our next matchup. So again, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, boys. Right away, you could tell that he said, you know what, I'm going to come into this team, and I'm going to be the leader. This is mine. I'm
That's
in charge.
good. If you're given that responsibility, you definitely need to step up to the plate, and you could see some good calls coming out from them there. I think it's always early stages. This is the thing with all these teams of this tournament. We have to now look at Counter-Strike and just grade it off of what we see within one event. So for them to start it off with a victory against Ago, who I said were probably, I said we're going to win the tournament. It's a pretty bad prediction. Look, it's a great start. It's a good step in the right direction, but we need to see more from everybody, Trace, and I'm excited.
What?
Same thing.
We're always excited.
We're always excited.
Standing.
Happy
You know
people.
what? I think you guys should just join the family, quite frankly. I think you should do that. I think you should join the family, the Astro family, Chad. Hello.
I thought you meant your family. I knew you were adopting some kids soon, but look,
Okay,
let's get
well-
a couple of those bad boys on and play some games.
Yeah, head over to astrogaming.com. You know, the cool part about those headsets is they make the custom side plates, right? So they can make custom plates that say sponge on the side, or just a picture of a sponge.
What about a picture of my face?
Picture of a
It'd be
sponge.
like quite a few faces going on right
Yeah.
there. How about this?
Faceception.
Faceception. I'm thinking more like Virtus Pro and the Fragsters, kicking it off on a best of one when we go to a break. We'll be coming back, and that will be the game that we're watching here at the DreamHack Open in Valencia. Make sure you're here with us when we come back.
Place your bets at gg.bet.